Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness, and today we are speed painting frost giants. Now we have two giants. This one here is by Jason Webb. This is the female frost giant. And we also have one by Bobby Jackson, both by Reaper Miniatures. Okay, so what we got here today is I've already undercoated the miniatures using Wood Stain Brown by MSP Paints. And what we're going to do is just quickly get on some colours for the fur. We'll get all the fur done, all the metal areas, add some red tones, and we'll start adding some skin tones. Now for the colours today, we have for the skin we can use ice blue as the very first coat, as it's a nice dark blue, and then moving on to frosty blue, both by MSP Paints. Let me say hello to people in chat first. We have Michelle and Scorpio, of course. We've got Ty's in chat, Bull GM's in chat, and Rod's in chat, and Stuart in chat, and Tal. welcome everybody. Let's get started. I'll get some paint on the palette and we shall start painting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with all the browns, because both these giants, they got lots of browns and leathers. So we're going to do brown and red leather and fur. So we're going to have some garnet red. So I'll just fill up the palette first. Oh yes, awesome stuff. I hope you're going to enter again, Stuart. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of the entries. Everybody's kind of been very quiet with all what they're painting this time. Right, we've got some driftwood brown. With the Mordor paint competition on Twitter, I would like quite a few people to enter the competition. There's no profit or no money being gained from the competition. But and I'm giving a trophy away for the competition, of course. But I really don't want Reaper Miniatures giving away expensive prizes if not many people enter the competition. So we shall see how the competition goes. If it carries on like it was last month, we have quite a few entries, then that's fine. But if it goes down too little, I'd feel a little bit bad having taken the prizes from Reaper. So hopefully we can keep the competition going, but if not, we'll just see how it goes in the future. But it is a lot of fun to have a little painting competition on Twitter. It's not for everybody, but it does give you a little bit of inspiration to paint, especially when there's £100 first prize. Awesome stuff. And again, thank you to Reaper Miniatures for supplying the gift certificates for the competition. Okie dokie, we've got some here. We need some gold skin. Now the gold skin I'm going to use for the beard. That's going to be the first coat for the beard, because it's going to have a white beard for the... Hello, Bow Spitter. Spitter? Did I say Spitter? Bow Splitter? Oh, and the Goblin Emperor's in the house. Everybody say hello to the Goblin Emperor. Ron M432 is my dad, but he's also known as the Goblin Emperor. And tomorrow we shall be going for muffins. We shall be going for muffins. And my Scorpio is banning everybody in chat. I take it they're all bots, are they, my lovely? Claire's in chat there, slashing away at all the bots. Okay, let's get started, or the show will be finished before we've begun again. Okay, I also need some dragon white. Okay, so my palette is full of lovely colours now. I don't think I need anything else just yet. Now, like I say, we're both the same colour scheme on both. Now, both these giants are for Gareth the Star Wars Man. Now, Gareth the Star Wars Man did get in touch with me. He is out with his boss, so he can't sneak in and watch the show. Because he's a bad boy. Okay, let's get some focus. A little bit of focus, a little bit of focus. There you go, that's about right. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is the shield brown. I'm just going to add it into my tissue here. I'm just using a dry brush, medium dry brush by Army Painter, and we're going to just start flying over the whole of the fur areas. I'm not worried about making a mess. This is why we do all this painting first before we go on to the next stage. We can fly around the whole of the miniature. It doesn't matter if the paint goes on any other parts, because all the rest of the miniature is going to be painted over in a different colour anyway. So it's very, very simple. Always start with your dry brushing, or your messy flicking of the paint first, as I call it. So we just add all that to all the fur areas. We can do this on both miniatures, because I want these miniatures to look very similar. As they are both going to Gareth. It's like the husband and wife frost giants, I'm going to call them. So that's the first little bit on. Very, very fast and simple. All over the fur, same colour. Just a nice even little flick. And just making sure there's none we've missed. A little bit there. Good. Next one. Oh, lots of people have suddenly turned up. Hello, Ty. I think I've already said Ty, haven't I? And H&H Minis. Awesome to see you all. Thank you for popping in. Now I've actually got a few things I wanted to show you today on the stream. I had my Reaper delivery today, which I ordered. Now, of course, I ordered the brand new Goblin Beginner's Paint Set. So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you that later in the show. Plus, I ordered a couple of heavyweight metal miniatures for my own personal collection. So I'll show you the new miniatures for myself. Now, the large metal miniatures are quite expensive, so I only buy one or two for myself now and again. But I absolutely love the large metal miniatures. They just ooze goodness. And I actually bought a giant. I bought a brand new metal giant. Plus, I got the new. I'll show you the well. What was it called again? Yeah, the Well of Doom. The Well of Doom. I got the metal version of the Well of Doom because at a later date I want to paint the Bones 5 Well of Doom, but I also want to give you an example of the metal version as well. But I'll show you that later in the show. So I got loads and loads of really, really nice metal miniatures to show off and to paint. So lots and lots of excellent shows coming in the future to the Twitch channel. Loads and loads of awesome, nice Reaper. What I'm trying to do as well is show you the metal versions, and we can also work on the new versions as well. As you know, metal is always going to be my favourite, but I have to say the Bones USA miniatures at the minute are absolutely stunning detail on the Bones USA miniatures. So very, very happy how the production of those miniatures are coming along. And like I say, I don't think Reaper could get any better for their plastic range of miniatures. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm adding a little bit of Dragon White to the shield brown. So we're just making it a nice coffee colour. We're going for coffee, look. A nice little cappuccino. A little cappuccino on the tissue there. So we've got a little cappuccino colour, and we're just going to start highlighting that fur a bit more. And remember, these are frost giants, so what we're going to try and do is add a little bit more white to give a little bit of an icy effect to the actual fur as well. So again, we just fly around, just adding that to the tops of the fur. And of course we're using that lovely dark brown to use as our shadow. We'll just move that to the front, just going around. Perfect. That's absolutely fab so far. And we'll do the same with the lady giant. A little bit more brown, adding that white and just making it a nice little cappuccino colour, as I call it. Cappuccino. Oh, and you'll all be happy to know that my gluten-free diet that I've started a week ago is working. My stomach pains and all my problems have all gone away, all just by what I'm eating. So I want to thank people like Renegade Shank and anybody that's been sending me gluten-free recipes and gluten-free food. It really has worked, because I was really poorly the other week, so I'm sticking to my gluten-free diet now. That won't be changing, and hopefully it'll be a better way of life. Hi, yeah, yes, tomorrow, Dad, tomorrow, Dad, we're back on the gluten-free muffins. Gluten-free muffins. Okay, I'm going back into the white, going back into the dragon white. So we're going back into that nice cappuccino colour, and we're just making it a little bit lighter. And this will be the final highlight for the fur. Thank you for the cheer, Bull GM. And we're just finishing off the edging of the fur with the brightest colour, the brightest of the whites there. So just moving to the edges now, just to finish off the fur. And we're just going to the tops here, just on the tops, nowhere else, just on the top of the fur. Oh, perfect. And a little bit here. So we're just going to the edge of the fur. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. It's lovely. There. Perfect fur. And we'll do the same with the lady. Just on the edges of the fur. Not going into the centre, just the edges. And along the top. And that just works perfect for our fur effect that we want for this miniature. A little bit there on the top of the boots. Good. Love it. Okay, now we're going to start adding some reds and browns, and this will be for all the leather areas. Just make sure you keep washing your brushes all the time. Oh, I went to start my Harley Davidson today, and the battery went flat again. That's the one thing about Harley Davidson motorcycles, is the batteries go flat on them so fast. I mean, I've had cruisers and choppers all my life, but this is the first time I've ever been able to afford to buy myself a Harley Davidson, and of course I'm so not used to the batteries going flat so fast. You just have to leave them for about 4 weeks or so, and there's not enough power in that battery to start the engine. So I've had to again today put my Harley Davidson on charge just to recharge the battery. It's crazy. I think one of the problems with the Harley Davidson motorcycles, the newer ones, is of course they're fully kitted out with alarm systems, so 24/7 the battery is slowly getting used because it's powering this alarm system on the motorbike. Just random information coming from me there. Okay, sorry about that. I'll get back into the painting. Right, so what I'm going to do here, I've got some brown and I'm adding this red. Now let me show you the red again. We are using Garnet Red by MSP Paints, and I'm mixing that in with the Shield Brown, so we're just darkening it off a little bit more. Just show you there, that's the colour I'm going for there. We just added the brown and the red together, and again we're taking it off the brush, and we shall start going around all the areas of the leather. Again, it doesn't matter if I make a mess because the other parts are going to get painted. What we're trying to do is just highlight the leather beneath the leather. So we're going to the recess, get that red on, boom boom boom, and we'll go in the middle here, just push it around. Like I said, the brown is working for us, and we just work our way around. Handle here as well. Just going down there, and also on the shoes here, these little leather shoes. So just adding a little bit of red to the shoes here. And what we're trying to, what I'm trying to actually achieve here is I'm just going for a hint of red. It's just a hint of colour. Because I'm trying to keep it very earthly. We're not going to be using bright colours at all. We're trying to keep it nice and earthly, and by using dark colours. Of course, this red here, that will have ink washes over it as well. That will blend it totally in as well. So that's all we need to do there. Just a little bit of red on the handle, on the boots, and just going around the levers here. And the same with this lady here. She's got lots more levers, so we can move all the way around here. Again, going with the red, a little bit of brown, just mixing the two together just to make it a little bit darker. Taking the paint off the brush, leaving a little bit of paint on the brush. It's not a full dry brush, a little bit moist. And again, going over all the leather areas, including the armor, because this armor here, I am not going for metal. I'm going for more of a leather look for this armor here, so we can pick it out with silver later, but we just want to get that red in all the areas first. We're just trying to look for a worn, very worn, drab look to the leather. So very, very simple. And like I say, because I've used that wood stain brown as a starter, it's really working its magic with the other colours. So by using a nice dark red like this, I'm just adding it on, adding a little bit of brown so it blends in with the dark brown at the back. It just works really nicely, and before you know it, you've got an absolutely stunning looking mini for your tabletop. Okay, moving back a little bit more here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of white to the red, and we're just going to highlight it a little bit now. So a little tiny highlight over the red areas. So not much. Just a tiny little touch. Tiny little touch. There you go. Just work our way in here, a little bit there, just dabbing it on. It's a bit like stippling the paint onto the back there, just in the center of each one of those, and a little bit in the middle there. There we are. And the same with the lady. Again, a little bit of white just to highlight, make it a nice little kind of more pinky. But that's all we need, and a tiny bit going over all the leather areas. Take that off. If you have a little smudge like this, you can actually use your thumb to remove any excess. That's perfect, like so. And we can just go like this, just edge a little bit, So just by adding that little lighter tone, you're already getting the shading from, you're getting the dark brown from the bottom and the reds, and then we're just picking out a little bit more, and it just brings out the detail of this miniature. Okay, lovely. Okay, let's go on to the next color. Now let's see where we are. Let's get our gunmetal. I'm going to use gunmetal now for all the metal areas, just to fill in the metal areas, and then we'll start on the skin. Thank you, Tal. Oh, maybe you meant the details on them just stunning, not my painting. Because I know what Tal's like. Not your painting, the details are nice, but your painting's shite. Okay, I'm using the number 2 brush. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to paint over all these areas here that I want in as metal. Now it's mainly on the male one. The female has got a little bit of metal, but we'll go for leather. So we're just quickly going over these here. And what we're going to do with this metal armor here is, as soon as this is dry, we're going to add a black ink wash to all the metal areas. And then what we'll do is I shall go over with a light steel, and we'll go over all the details nice and fast and get the details done. So here's a little badge here, so I'll just quickly paint that in. And a little badge here. And like I said to you before, I used to use the mithril silver or the basic silver first, but what I'm finding now is I'm preferring to use gunmetal all the time. So for every time I do metal now, I start with that gunmetal first, so you got that nice, the darkest color. The same as like you do for your normal painting. You start with your darkest colors first, and then use your highlights. Well, I'm doing that the same with my metal. I'm using the dark gunmetal and then highlighting with ordinary silver. I'm still using the brown as well. We're not completely covering the whole of the areas. I just find having a little bit of brown coming through here and there adds like a rustic feel to everything. So what will happen here is, again, this will be in black. The edges here will go into the bright silver, as it's the edging. And of course we'll do the mask here as well, so we'll just go around the face here. Now I might have to go over this later because we have to add the eyes, so I just get most of the metal work done and we'll be fine. So just flying around this now, a little bit here. Okay, under the axe. Again, we'll just do this little bit. Superb. It doesn't take long to get all your giants painted up. Once you've got a little routine, and of course the more miniatures you paint, the faster you're going to get, and the more you shall you'll learn it's just one of those things. You always get faster the more you paint, and you learn new techniques. I mean, I've been painting so long, and yet I'm always learning new things. Again, that's the beauty of painting miniatures. There's always something to learn when you're painting miniatures. So we're just going to again over all these lovely areas. Now this is all metal here. There's these little dots here. Now of course, what we can do quickly for that is I'll give my brush a wash. Remember to always use a separate, when you're using metallics, always use a separate wash for cleaning your brushes. Otherwise you're going to have metallics on all your other paints. So whenever you use metallics, always make sure you have different water pots. It makes it a lot easier. Now I'm going to use one of these Reaper brushes here, and it's a very simple thing to do. We're just going to add that the gunmetal to our brush, and saves us tons of times. We just go straight over, and we can paint all those in one easy way. Instead of doing them individually, we just dry brush the whole lot, and they're done. Simple as that. Okay, right then, let's see where we are. Okay, so we got the metal on there, metal's done there. Oh, we haven't done the metal around the bottom, so we'll just go back to that. A little bit of metal around the bottom here. We're just going to fly around. Again, it's just a hint of metal, really. You could dry brush this on, but what we're trying to do is just show and emphasize parts of the miniature that would be metallic. So we want it worn, so we just want it to be a hint of metal. So just going around nice and fast, just following the lines. I'm using my fingers here. If you look, I'm using this hand here. I've got two hands. This hand I use, and I'm using my little finger here. This is what I'm using to steady my brush. So I'm holding the mini nice and firm, and I'm using my little pinky finger here to actually steady my brush going around the miniature, so I can go nice and fast, and I got full control of what I'm doing with this brush because I got my little pinky finger giving me support. Pinky finger support. We just get these little buttons done. Yes, once you if you keep on doing what I'm doing here, like using your hands as support, to begin with it can be quite tricky because you'll be thinking about doing it. You'll be thinking about, oh, I use this to this, to this. But what will happen is over time, you'll be doing it. I don't even realize I am doing it. It's just a natural thing where my hands are supporting each other. Okay, so that's most of the metal on there. It's already looking fab, this mini. Oh, I'm glad I'm helping people. I know I repeat myself a lot, but like I said in most of my shows, by repeating what I do, it's the best way to learn. Okay, so on this miniature here, what we're going to do now is we're going back into the silver again, and we're just going on all the areas that I want painted in silver. So very quick and fast. We'll just go around here. Now I'm not going for any golds and bright colours on this miniature. I'm keeping it all silver. They are frost giants. So what I'm trying to do is keep the colours cold. Now, frost giants will have cold colours. Silver is probably your best colour to keep it cold. When you think fire giants, you think of gold. So fire giants should have gold all over their armour. But with the frost giants, I keep it to silver because silver is cold, and it kind of goes with these giants. Okay, it doesn't take long for these miniatures to start looking awesome. Minimal effort, of course, and you get yourself some fantastic miniatures. What you'll find as well with most of my painting is my colour schemes are quite earthly, but what I do is I don't like to over paint the miniature with hundreds of different colours, so I like to keep them in a format that matches the actual miniature. I'm not too keen on miniatures with hundreds and hundreds of different colours or lots of very bright colours in a small area. So I try to keep my miniatures more real, should I say. You could almost believe they could exist, especially the human ones. Good. This is coming on very, very nicely so far. I'm just picking out all the little buckles now and the little bits and bobs. A little bit here, there's a bit of metal there, so just add a little bit of metal there. And of course we'll do the sword, so what we'll do is we'll just go straight down the sword with this here. And the sword is easy enough because what we'll do is the bottom of the sword we shall keep dark, and then we shall add a light silver to the top of the sword. That will give a light source and an edge to the sword as well. And the same with the other one. We'll just move our way down the sword. Excellent. Okay. That's all we need to do for that for now. Let's move on to the next part of the show. I'll drink my drinky. Oh, one of the biggest tips I could give you for painting miniatures is if you are a coffee drinker, try to not drink coffee an hour before you start painting, or 2 hours before you start painting, because the caffeine is one of the worst things possible to give you shaky hands. That's why you'll always see me drinking my Ribena on show, and I never drink coffee for at least 2 hours before I start painting. Of course, I love my coffee, I love my cappuccinos, but what you'll find is if you are painting and you want the steadiest of hands, try to cut down on your caffeine, because you'll find that's one of the worst things for painting miniatures. Adds an interesting painting effect. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, we can now start adding the blue. Let's start adding the skin here. That's what I said. So we're using ice blue first. Well, that's right. Some people do have shaky hands. And that is one of that is a shame. But all I'm trying to say is the caffeine is not helping. And maybe you've got shaky hands because you're drinking too much coffee. I used to drink about 20 cups of coffee a day, but oh, I was terrible for coffee. Now I'm down to 3 real cups a day. I have 2 normal coffees, a cappuccino, and I have about 6 decafs, I think. I mean, decaf is NAF, of course, but there we are. Now this blue is going on to a dark colour, so we will probably have to do a couple of coats. But what we're doing is just following the skin around. We'll get the little arm in. This actual giant could be used as a frost giant, frost giant. It could be used as but any giant. It doesn't have to be just a frost giant. It could be a fire giant. It could be a cloud giant. But it was sculpted as a frost giant. My favourite giants are fire giants. I like fire giants more than the frost giants, but they're still cool. So very, very simple painting the skin on these giants. Unlike painting human flesh, when you paint anything that's human, you'll pick out errors instantly because you know exactly what human flesh looks like, so you've got something to kind of put it against. But when you're painting blue skins or on frost giants, etc., it doesn't really matter too much if you make mistakes, because it's a fantasy miniature where you haven't really got it in your head what it's really supposed to look like, unlike when you're painting human skin. As long as you get that dark blue on first, get the nice dark blue on first, and then you add a lighter blue, you'll get the desired effect you want for your frost giant. Okay, now this frost giant is wearing gloves, so I don't need to paint his hands, but I will have to give him another coat of blue on the arms. But it's a very, very nice blue. The MSP range is very good. You got, like I say, this is the ice blue, so you're getting the correct colours, and you got frosty blue. That will be our second tone for the muscles. Now we'll move on to the lady. Now this lady, for some reason, she has her goodie bits kind of half covered. If you see on the side there, she's got half a breast coming out the one side. A bit of a strange thing to do, but I'm going to paint them in anyway. So here we go, one breast. Talking of breasts, I got chicken after this. I got a nice tasty roast chicken to eat. Yum. Nothing like a nice juicy breast. Okay, so that's that one done. But now, other than that, she got a little bit of blue on the face. She's well covered up, apart from the those bits, and around the face. So we just add a little bit of blue here. Just be careful. I'm using quite a big brush here, so we just move on around, and we'll get the little nosy done. Go around the teethsies. There we are, just adding a little bit of blue there. And of course that brown is working for us. And the brown is working fab. I do think dark brown is the best colour to use for any of your miniatures. That's my personal opinion. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of blue in the sockets here because it's just big enough to add a little bit of blue. There we go. Just there for now. Just there for now. Oh, is that my stomach rumbling? My stomach's rumbling because I was talking about chicken breasts. Okay, so there we are. As you can see, we've added that blue. And because I used that brown background, you've got a nice little shade just coming through here. What we're doing is we're just leaving the lips brown, and then we can go back over there and start highlighting that. I think that looks fab so far. Okay, carrying on. Now we're going to have to leave that for 5 seconds. While that is drying, I'm going to quickly show you my paint set. Hello, Paladin 65. Yes, the dark brown does work wonders. I use the Woodstain brown by MSP Paints, but just by using your brown, especially if you're using if you're painting levers, so any of your old miniatures that you got leather effects, you just start with your darkest brown. It saves you a ton of work. And you can just work your way around the miniature. Like I said, I still got to touch things up, but these will look absolutely fab by the time they're finished. I mean, I only just started them in the show tonight, and they are all both looking fab. Very happy so far. Okay, right. Let me show you. This is the this is a little bit of Reaper Miniatures advertising for all your fantasy enjoyment. Now, Reaper Miniatures have just released this. This is, let me zoom out. This is the Goblins Quick Paint Kit. Now, you can buy this directly from the website, from Reaper Miniatures. There is a link below. There is a link below my this video. And I'm also a sponsor of Reaper Miniatures. So whenever you use my link, they get to know that I love them to bits, and then I get like a little bit of store credit, which is absolutely awesome stuff. So with this set, you get 8 color paints. You get 6 of the Bones USA Goblins. You also get a Reaper Pro paintbrush, and inside there's supposed to be a little guide. Now, it's very simply, if you look at the back of the box, you got your set of paints. You got your little goblins. You got your brush there. Now, by looking at that brush, it either looks like it's a 0 or a number 2 brush. Actually, number 1 brush, maybe number 1 or number 2 brush. So it might be a little bit tricky to paint the small little goblins. But what I'm going to do is, in about 3 weeks' time, because I know a few of you guys have bought this set as well. What we'll do is, if you buy this set, we'll do a little paint along. We'll do a paint along on the channel, so we can actually all paint together on the channel and have a bit of fun. So I'll do it in about 3 or 4 weeks, and then what we'll do is we'll try and paint the set together using just the paints and everything that comes with the box. Now, I might add another brush, I don't know, but we'll see. But inside here as well, there's supposed to be some little instructions. But this is the Goblins Quick Paint Kit, which I love all this type of stuff. I just think it's amazing stuff. Hello, Fun with Geeks. Thank you so much for the raid. Also, this is what else I wanted to quickly show you before we carry on. This is the Bones 5. This is the Bones 5 version of the Well of Doom. Thank you for the raid. Thank you everybody for following. Most of you probably don't know me who have just joined from the raid. I am a miniature painter. I am a sponsor of Reaper Miniatures, and I paint miniatures for a living. This is my full-time job. But what it is, I paint to a tabletop standard. My painting is to get your armies painted fast and easily for your games. Huge love of D&D, huge love of Lord of the Rings. If you want to learn how to paint your miniatures fast and easy, then this is the channel for you. So yeah, welcome. It's all about the minis. Thank you everybody for following. I don't even know who you are. Awesome stuff, thank you. This is the Old Well of Doom. This is by Staples. So this was the very first original Well of Doom in the metal version, and of course now they've released this new version from the Bones 5 Kickstarter. So what we'll do again in a future show is we'll get the metal version painted up and the new Bones version, and we'll see exactly how we get on with that. Okay, now there was one more miniature I wanted to show you, and I've lost him. I've lost him. Where's he gone? Here, no, he's disappeared. I had a brand. Oh, there he is. This is what I've been saving up for. This is the brand. Well, it's not brand new. This is the old Fomorian Giant. This is a heavyweight metal Reaper miniature, and again, I'll be painting this up on the show. It weighs a packet. It's full-on solid metal. And this is one of the this is a Jason Weby. So this will be something else we'll be painting on the show in a later date. But yeah, if you want to see some heavyweight metal, this is what you want to get. Okay, so let's get back to the Frost Giants. Now, what I'm going to do with the Frost Giants, I'm going to add a little bit of black ink wash. What we got here is some Nunn Oil from Games Workshop, and I'm just going to go into all those recesses of the metal areas. I'm just going to use an old army painter brush. Remember to always mix your Nunn Oil using a mixer or giving it a good shake. If the Nunn Oil, the pigments will still go to the bottom of the pot. Hi Renegade Shank. Now I'm just going to add all this black ink wash so it goes into all the recesses of the metal here. Now this will help me pick out the metal when I paint the silver on in a minute. Now if you have started following me, I have got a giveaway at 700 followers. That dragon above me will be given away to anyone on stream once I get to 700 followers. We do a little Wheel of Pain spinny gamble-y thing, whatever, a little spin the wheel. We put all your names on a spin the wheel, and of course the winner will be sent that painted dragon from Reaper Miniatures. Now I do a giveaway like that on my channel at every 100 followers. So just going over all this metal area, letting the ink wash go into the recesses. Yes, that paint mixer has been an absolute blessing for me. An absolute blessing. Like I say, if you are really serious about your painting, I highly recommended getting one of these little mixers for your pots of paint. And like I say, you can this will even mix the hex pots from the Games Workshop, the old hex pots. from the late 80s, 90s, and it'll mix anything. It's just incredible. Okay, just a little bit of ink wash over all the metal areas here. Again, I want to thank whoever it was who raided me. You'll have to get in touch with me if you can, or let me know who you are so I can follow you back. So out of kindness, because that's very, very nice of you to raid me. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, we need to go back over that blue. So we need to go back over that blue now. Just one more coat with the blue, and then we can start highlighting. But I'm afraid we are coming up to the end of the show. We're going to be finishing in about 5 minutes time. So we'll try and get a little bit more done, but I will have to say goodnight in 5 minutes. I try to keep all my shows to just under an hour. I find an hour for me is long enough. I see lots of people streaming for 3 or 4 hours. I can't. I am not that guy. I am not that guy. I can't do that. I get too tired. I'm old. I'm old. When I was a young man. There we are, just add a little bit more blue. And what we'll do is when that dries, we can add a little highlight, and that'll just pick out the extra areas. Fun with Geeks, thank you. Scorpler, could you write down that Fun with Geeks at Fun with Geeks for me, so I don't lose it. Okay, so that's about it for tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you where I got to, and we'll do a little recap. So what we've done here, we've got the male and female frost giant, and just by using the browns, we've used the browns to our advantage. We've added some nice dry brushing to add fur to all the miniatures. We've added some reds, and we started blending the reds, and we've added some nice silvers. It's reds, silvers, and blues. God, I can't get my words out there. And it's just been a fab stream. So thank you everybody so much for popping on. Again, thank you for the raid. It was not expected, but very welcomed. Thank you everybody who did follow and who stayed. I know when people raid, lots of people don't stay, because I raid people as well. It's a normal thing where somebody raids, and most people will either stay or go. But it's also it's just an amazing thing. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Lots of love to everybody. I will be back tomorrow doing my Lord of the Rings stream, and we shall be continuing with the original Fellbeast. So we'll be doing that. So I'm going to say goodnight. Loads of love to everybody, and take care.